we could easily go another 26 years from now.
We're 10 years
without a title.
The worst we've been since we won it.
So there's nothing to say, oh, well, we're going to win it in 10 years. It might be another 26 years, and I might be around for that long. So, yeah, Project 150, whatever it's called. 2028, I'll take that.
Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. This is Off the Bar. My name is Joe, that is Jay, that is Stephen Howson, and today we are talking about how far off are Manchester United. First of all, we're going to talk about from Europe, then we're going to talk about the end goal, the big one, the one we shouldn't talk about, winning the league title again. Because here's the thing, Steve, you can put your head in your hands, but there is an answer. How far off are we? It might be light years, it might be 600 million more in players.
14 places.
It might be 14 places, but we're going to analyse it and look at not just how far away we are, because we can do that by points and we can do that by goals, etc., which we will do, but also how big is that gap in terms of the ability to close it? How long is it going to take to close it? How far does the likes of Cunha and Mbeumo go to closing it? And we'll look at what the other teams are doing to strengthen as well. It's going to be an exciting one. I'm very looking forward to this. How are you, Jay?
I'm good. Not too bad, to be honest with you. I'm liking the fact that what we in June, and it looks like we're almost two signings in. Two good signings as well, not signings I've never heard of, or we're waiting to see if they're any good. I feel like these are...
We've moneyballed it a bit, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've gone, that forward line can't score goals. Get me some Premier League goals.
Yeah, I like that. And then you can maybe cut costs elsewhere, which I'm sure we're going to do.
Because there's a lot of money though in it, Steve. We're looking at 120 to 125 million-ish for the two of them. Does that still constitute Moneyball in it? Is that too much money for that, or do you think it's...
No, people presume Moneyball is doing everything on the cheap.
Yeah.
Moneyball was buying runs. That was what Moneyballing it was. Yes, they did it on the cheap a little bit as well, and they did it with unfancied things, but they did spend money. Like, they literally bought a team. So, Moneyballing it was literally going and buying runs, not necessarily doing things on the cheap.
Yeah.
Sciencing your way through it.
And in the grand scheme of things, these two players, they're not cheap, but for the goals and for the output that they've had, they're on the cheaper end of things. You're never going to get a 20-goal player or a 15-goal player for 15, 20 million quid, are you?
Not anymore.
It just doesn't exist. So I think, look at Florian Wirtz going to Liverpool. That is a mega money signing.
How many times are you going to say that this year?
I thought as many as I possibly can. The worse he does, the more the frequency of me saying it goes up as well. So we'll find out.
Full Graham Souness mode, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be the
like Merry Christmas. Forget that.
Yeah, never mind that. What about Florian Wirtz?
What's he been doing for that 116 million? But let's have a look at the gap then. So if we look at last season's Premier League, I think that's a good place to start. If we look at the league table, we can actually more accurately assess exactly what the gap is on paper. So United obviously finished 15th on 42 points. We're going to start with Aston Villa because these European places are really, that's what we care about, isn't it? There's no point in considering what it takes to go from 15th to 12th because who cares? Aston Villa finished on 66 points, which is 24 points more than we got. More than 50% extra again on what we got, which is absolutely astonishing just by itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like how do you think, and obviously we haven't got a bad team, but how did that happen last season? Because I think we need to start there to look at how we can actually improve it. How did we finish on 42 points, Jay?
It's not just one thing, it's lots and lots of different things. I mean, Eric and I got off to a bit of a stink. I know we beat Fulham on the opening day, but after that it was pretty poor. Not scoring enough goals was so bad. That's why we've gone and spent 120 odd million quid on two attackers with Premier League experience. Because between the likes of Rasmus Højlund, Alejandro Garnacho, Joshua Zirkzee and Marcus Rashford when he was there before he left, there just wasn't enough goals. Yeah. It was embarrassing, to be honest with you. I mean, after Marcus left, he was still like our top goal scorer or something away from home for about another 3 months, and he hadn't been exactly prolific. So that's not going to help you. Then you've got the amount of injuries we had. I'm not going to blame it all on injuries because it's absolutely pathetic finishing on 42 points, but we did have injuries. Then you had question marks around the goalkeeper as well. It was like almost in every area. Plus the midfield, Casemiro, could you rely on him? Ugarte was taking a while to settle. Mainu was injured. Even Toby Collier came in and got injured. It was just everything went wrong. Like the attack went wrong, the midfield went wrong, the defence, who were actually for a man quite good, but then you had De Ligt out for ages. Lenny Ora was injured. Lisandro Martinez got injured. Aiden Evan came in, looked good, and then got injured. It was just a disaster in every way, shape or form. The only sort of, I'm trying to say the only positive from last season, but I don't even know if it was a positive, the cup run, because we lost the final to Spurs, so it probably wasn't. because that's not a
Gave
positive,
us
is
some
it?
moments of
That
joy
Lyon game
at
was
least.
mint.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. It was. But then, you know my thoughts on it. It's like I always moan about the 4-3 against City, the fact that we didn't win a title that season. It taints it for me. That win against Lyon just reminds me of the fact we lost the final to Spurs, which was shite.
You've walked the ring all the way to Mordor, but you've not thrown it in Mount Doom.
Is that
What
Harry
was the
Potter?
point? Lord of the Rings, get
Sorry.
over it. Looking at that, Steve, obviously we've spoke about, and you in particular spoke about goals scored so much, but you see the league table there. The only non-relegated side that scored fewer goals than us is Everton. Is that the biggest number one and foremost issue that meant that we finished 15th?
Yeah, I mean, we did concede more than like most of the top six still. I think Brighton conceded. So we have also conceded more than pretty much most of the top teams.
Yeah.
I think Brighton might have conceded more than us. Who else is on there? But we're not miles off what Newcastle conceded.
No.
And, you know, they was seen as being like quite stingy in terms of what they allowed. You know,
Similar to Villa?
Yeah, similar to Villa. So the goals scored is a huge, huge, huge factor. Now, we've got two players in who've scored, what, between them 35 goals?
Yeah.
The chances of that translating 1-1, I mean, would literally put us in a very, very sweet spot.
Yeah.
And it gives us near enough a goal a game. Like one goal a game turns all draws into wins and turns a lot of losses into draws. So that would be incredibly impactful for us. The chances of that actually translating like that, probably not. But I reckon you might have added 20 goals by having both of them signed. Can you add 30 with another striker? You know, that's 10 goals each across all of those would be bloody good for us. And I don't think it's impossible that they can add that. Now, even if we are not any better defensively, that would massively, massively, massively improve us. That would probably put us on, what, plus 20 in terms of goals, which puts us, well, that's Newcastle, that's Chelsea, it's behind City, but what, fifth or sixth?
Yeah.
Right, okay, well, you'd take that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That would feel like enormous improvement.
Yeah. And do you think we can get that, Jay, just from the two transfers we've got so far?
No, you need the striker.
You need the striker as well.
Because that's the 30. The 30 is the striker.
Okay. If we did, let's say we just the 20 for now. Obviously, not every goal is a point, but it, as we spoke about before on the channel, it
Plus
roughly
10 puts you like
it roughly
Brentford,
equates
Bournemouth,
to
Brighton level. So
Yeah.
that's just top half of the table.
yeah.
I think that's about right, you know. I think them transfers have put us back in the top half.
So you think, yeah, as it stands, talking about closing the gap to challenging for European places, you think we've kind of already bridged that with the two transfers that we've made?
No, top half.
Right. But if you're top half,
No, it's 8th, 9th, 10th. That's not European places.
well, it's challenging for it though, isn't it? Brighton are only 5 points off Forest. So I think you're kind of in the conversation for European places.
Well, just call it top half because
Okay.
you're not qualified, are you?
Off the Bar today is brought to you by our sponsor, Manual. Jay, talk to me a little bit about Manual.
Well, Manual can help you when your testosterone levels have dropped or that you want to check out your testosterone levels, because it's something a lot of people don't realise, but you might be feeling some symptoms, lack of sleep, lack of focus, that kind of thing. And I think particular sort of men my age, over 35, testosterone levels drop, I think, about 1 to 2% after 35 years old, but it could even be sooner. And I know it's something, Steve, me and you've spoken about. You've you've had testosterone tests as well, haven't you? Because your levels were.
I've been on TRT for nearly 4 years now.
Yeah, because people make assumptions, don't they, about testosterone levels? Like, they think, oh, my testosterone levels can't be low, or my testosterone, that's not an issue for me, but it affects more people than you think.
Yeah, and look, people getting involved in the comments and be like, oh, why are you hawking this? And you're like, we're not hawking anything, we're saying go and get tested.
Yeah.
And it's just the information, and it's a yes or no thing. Do you need it? Cool. If you don't, cool.
Yeah,
okay.
it's
just go and get the test and find out. It's just information.
Because I did a test, and I decided to have one because I was experiencing these symptoms, lack of focus, feeling a little bit of lack of motivation at times. I've always spoken about this on podcasts about my sleep, being all over the gaff, sleepless nights, or not being able to get into a routine. And I thought, you know what, it's worth doing a test. Why not? Just have a test, see what your testosterone levels are, and see if you need some help about it. And that's what Manual do. The easiest first step to checking out your testosterone levels and see if they are low is an easy at-home blood test to check your levels. And there's a link in the description so you can get 45% off with manual. Go and check out that link. If you do think you're suffering from some of those symptoms, you do think it's something worth checking out, then I implore you to go and do that. Check out the link in the description and get yourself checked out, and you can get help from manual.
Because it's the sort of thing that you just won't ever know otherwise. There's no other way to do it. No. You know, you might have low testosterone and you cannot tell that unless you get a test.
Yeah, it's proper easy as well. The test to do at home is dead easy. I did it quickly. You've done it in the past, haven't you, as well? It's not difficult at all. So yeah, check out that link in the description. Go and get 45% off. Get yourself tested. It's a massive step forward, and it changes the complexion of so many games as well. When you've actually got a threat, when you can actually maybe get the first goal and you're not just missing a few chances, then the opposition score, and then that's the end of that.
Yeah.
So there's every reason to believe that buying 2 players that are as good as Matheus Cunha and Cunha and Mbeumo can get you to at least 10th.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. A big thing for me as well next season is injuries. Because I rate Lenny Yoro, I rate Matheus de Ligt, I rate Aiden Everton, I rate Lisandro Martinez, I rate Kobbie Mainoo. I think they're all good players. I rate Ahmad. I think they're all very good players, and all of them missed big chunks of last season. Yeah. And I think had they all stayed fit for a lot longer, it could have been. I'm not saying we would have got into European places. We wouldn't have, but we could have at least got top half of the table, even with just better injuries.
How many games did we phone in at the end of the season in between the European semis and quarters?
All of them except, well, in between. You said in between, so basically all of them.
Yeah. I mean, looking at just availability, Cunha and Mbeumo the last 5 seasons, I think he played 44 games out of 46 in the Championship. Yeah. Then it was 38 out of 38 in the Premier League, 35 out of 38. Then I think the season before last he played 25, and then this season just gone, he played 38 again. So 4 out of the last 5 games, he's basically played every game in the league, which is a massive improvement over, you know, Ahmad again, who is relatively injury prone, Højlund, who has had similar injuries, Xerxes, who was in and out, like you said. Just bringing players in who are going to be there every week is a big start. You know, that's just, you guaranteed more better performances from doing that. Let's look at some of the other teams then. So just with the 2 positions that we've got so far, we're thinking top half is now viable, possible, likely even, if they can translate.
Yeah, I agree with what Steve's saying.
So let's have a look at Aston Villa then, where they are, because they're currently 6th, and that's the next sort of gap to go from. So as it stands at the moment, we finished 24 points behind them, 8 points behind them in the season before last as well, in the 23-24 season. And also, they've got players, goal scorers. They've got Ollie Watkins. At that time, they had obviously John Duran as well, who isn't there now. They've experimented massively and pushed it massively on wages. The likes of Asensio, Rashford coming in.
They've 5x their wages in 5 years.
Yeah, I think they've currently got something like a 90% wages to turnover ratio, which is horrifically unsustainable. Just in terms of firstly catching Aston Villa, Steve, how far from Mbeumo and Cunha do we have to go to be able to beat them next year?
You need a striker.
Yeah.
To get into the top, the thing is, you assume that they're going to be in the same place. They're probably going to have to sell because of their PSR dramas, unless I think they might have sold themselves the toilets or something like that. I think they've found a way around it, is the rumour that I saw on Twitter this morning. So that's true. Definitely legal. What you've got to remember is all of the teams that we're going to be competing against are in European competition, and it's a factor that you've never seen Manchester United not have to contend with as well. And I think, you know, when you've got a manager that's trying to implement a new system, players that have had seasons of, you know, 55 plus games, you're now going to see them coming into a time when they don't have to play 2 times a week. You can focus a little bit on the opposition more. You can work on the training ground. You can get those link-ups better. You can work on finishing. You know, you can do those little intangibles that, you know, you've never really seen Manchester United have a chance to do. Look at Forest this season. Oh, I wonder why are they up there? So, like, flying, doing bits. At one point, looked like they were going to get Champions League place before they fell off towards the back end of the season. You know, are you telling me that United's squad isn't capable of doing that? I think you get a striker, and it is. And I think you probably, to cross that threshold and get into the top 5, I think you probably need a midfielder and a striker from where we are right now, and luck with injuries.
What do you think, Jay? Because obviously some of the, you know, we've got Newcastle as well, obviously, in the same conversation because they finished on the exact same number of points as Villa last season. What do you think we have to do to bridge that gap? Because Newcastle, I think today there's been reports that they're targeting James Trafford, João Pedro and Anthony Elanga for somewhere in the 130 million ballpark. I don't know if they'll get any or all of them, but they're trying to spend a bit of money where they can.
Yeah.
Do you think just the 3 signings would close that gap, or do you think we need more than just, a striker as well as the 2 we've got?
I think I actually think, even without a striker, I still think we've massively improved. My concern is in midfield as well, because I don't know what's going on with Manuel Ugarte. I don't know if the manager rates him or whether I know he had him at Sporting, but he seemed to fall out of him a bit towards the end of the season. Yeah. There's talk that United want another midfielder. Now, I love Kobbie Mainoo. I don't know what the manager feels about Kobbie Mainoo, though, and I don't know where Bruno Fernandes fits into this system. I don't know how that looks. So that's a little bit of a concern. I think both Villa and Newcastle have a lot of flaws, though. I mean, did we concede what? Villa conceded just 3 fewer goals than us, and we were shocking defensively last season, to be honest with you. So that shows they've got problems, plus the players that you've already mentioned, that they've not got any more, or that they might have to move on a couple as well. Yeah. So I don't know. The big difference with a lot of these clubs as well is they've got European football of some description. Yeah. They've got that extra competition, and some clubs cope with it, others don't. Some clubs, it massively derails their Premier League season. Yeah. And it's not like these are all clubs that are used to playing European football every season. A lot of them don't most seasons. It's quite new to them. They've had 1 season here and 1 season on and 1 season off.
Did Forest qualify for Europa?
Yeah.
So that makes a big difference, because United are going to have basically 1 game a week for nearly, at least until January or something, or maybe, there'll be the Carabao, which now we're in the early stages of as well, because we were shy last season. Great.
We're playing like Halifax.
Yeah. We're playing
Harrogate.
We're playing Paddock. So we're going to have that game.
I got plans.
And then, but other than that, we're going to have 1 game a week for a big chunk of the season. For the majority of the season, they're not. That can help. That can help massively. So those teams aren't a million miles away. The one thing that Newcastle have got that we haven't got, and I like Mbeumo and I like Cunha, is they've got an absolute world-class striker. Alexander Isaac is the real deal.
You've been a big fan of him for a while, haven't you?
Yeah.
Even
yeah. I remember when he was. I think it was against Liverpool. Saw him one of his first games. I thought he looks unreal. And then when you see him up close, it's just little things you notice. You think he's different class, especially when you compare him to some of, no disrespect, but what we've been seeing at Old Trafford. Yeah. So yeah, his numbers speak for themselves. Is it 40 odd goals in 2 seasons in the league?
44.
I mean, that's not a fluke, is it? They've got
that's the difference, probably.
Yeah. Well, they've scored in the last 2 seasons. They've scored 52 goals more than us combined. He scored 44.
Well, there you
goals.
go. Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's, there's not too much to bridge there, is there?
Do it like as a simple equation, then that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So they've got him. We haven't got someone of that ilk, even though we've improved in attack. Villa, I just think they've got a good team. I know Watkins gets you goals, but I think they've got other players that you look at.
Solid team.
Solid. Like someone like John McGinn is a good player for them. Yeah. Someone like Morgan Rogers does a good job for them. Yeah, they've got who else is it? Konza, who does a good job for him. Onana. Yeah, they've just got good players, haven't they, throughout the team, and the squad's quite decent as well. Like when they change things up, they're not like, oh my god, Leon Bailey is amazing, but he can get you a goal and an assist.
Better than our forward line.
Exactly. So they have just got a good, and Emery knows his onions, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So they've got. I think with Villa, it's more a case of a good squad and a good manager. With Newcastle, I think it's a good team, but they've got 1 or 2 gems, and in particular,
I think Gordon's a real good player.
Yeah, I'm not just dismissing the rest of the team.
The midfield moved him into midfield.
Gimenez is good.
Joelinton, Tonali, Gimenez is I think
that's,
top 3.
You know when like people go on about like that night that Joshua Zirkzee got booed, and look, he wasn't having a good game. I'm not going to rewrite history, pretend he was. But that midfield, that's one of the few times when I thought, what the fuck is Ruben Amorim doing? Yeah. Was it Christian Eriksen and Casemiro against like Gimenez and
We've found some games in this year. And
I know, you're like,
Newcastle away,
give
them the win.
Like, that was near the end of the season, wasn't it?
You can't fucking go up against that midfield with a midfield that we went into that game with, and then everyone blames Xerxes. I mean, you know what I mean? Come on. Yeah. So it was. They have got a very good team, to be fair.
Do you think we can challenge them next season, or do you think that's a season after job getting up above Newcastle?
I think we can challenge them next season. Yeah. I mean, we need a bit more than what we've just bought. I get where Steve's coming from for a strike, but the midfield's the one that's standing out for me as well. But it's not. We shouldn't be sat here going, "Oh, Newcastle are fucking beyond us." Yeah. They're not.
I think a striker gets us to like 6th, 7th.
Yeah.
I think Mbeumo and Cunha puts us inside the top 10, 8th, 9th, 10th.
Yeah.
I think a striker gives us another couple of places, and I think a midfielder has you challenging 5th, and then you require injuries, luck, gelling, performances. Because I think, you sign a striker in Mbeumo and Cunha, you are going to blunt, I expect Bruno's goals output to be blunted a little bit with that. It doesn't you don't just add goals on goals on goals on goals. It doesn't work like that. Things get shared, movement changes. I mean, Mbappe being added to Real Madrid, they did not just add his goals. I think they've ended up with less goals actually. It's massively taken away from Bellingham's output. People's output changes with every new signing that comes in, and you adapt, and you might end up better, you might end up worse. But I think United being more of a threat, even if it's Mateta, right? Even if it's Mateta, Cunha and Mbeumo, if that's our forward line going into next season, fuck my ass, we have upgraded our forward line. In no one's going to argue with that. All 3 of those positions are upgraded. Even if Ahmad plays right wing back, that is a forward line that oppositions have to go, what are we going to do with this? Then the problem becomes getting the ball to them.
Well, that's the next thing, isn't it? So the sort of the teams after that are sort of Chelsea. I mean, this season it was City, but we need to. I guess we're going to assume City are going to be back up there.
They've already gone for it, haven't they?
Well, let's just get into
barring an absolute miracle of some sort of
justice.
Repercussions. With justice happening in my lifetime or our lifetimes, then I think they'll be right back at challenging.
They only got 71 points this season, which is very low. Maybe
losers.
Well, the high watermark for me is 20 wins.
Yeah.
Pull the league table up for us.
So look at they've got the.
Who got 20 wins? Liverpool won it with 25, right? But then the teams that was on 20 wins, Newcastle, Chelsea, City and Arsenal. City got 21, right? Newcastle lost quite a lot. They didn't draw many.
No.
Arsenal drew a fucking load. Same old. It's 20 wins.
Yeah.
20 wins is the benchmark. How far off? What do we get this year? Like 9?
11.
11. Felt like 9, didn't it?
Yeah.
No way do we win 11.
It doesn't. It feels too. I can't believe you sat here saying it.
I can't even think of it.
I was like, I remember
33 points just from wins. That doesn't feel like right.
Well, we only drew. Well, we drew 9, so that makes sense.
Your maths is adding up here. Well done.
That's how it goes, isn't it?
But I don't feel like we won all.
No way did we win 11 games. It's fucking unreal.
So, can we win another 9 games? Jesus Christ, it feels like those last 9 games we could have won.
Yeah.
If we'd have actually bothered.
Yeah.
So like that literally transforms you in the table.
Because I honestly think if we'd have beat Tottenham in the Europa final, we probably wouldn't have beat Villa on the last day of the season.
I don't. I think you're
and
right.
we actually, I know they had the red card and we were a bit lucky with their goal, but we beat them quite comfortably. We were by far the better team.
They were shit and they had something to play for.
Yeah. And I think that if we'd have beaten Tottenham, we'd have been like, who cares? We're Champions League next season. Like, I do think mentality and how you approach the game and momentum and the fact that they couldn't then come back from that game and put in this sad, sorry performance against Villa, because it would have been just a nightmare, wouldn't it?
I get your point, but I just feel like United last season, half the time the only good games we had was against 10 men. It was just like...
We were quite good at getting teams down to 10.
Yeah, we got Sociedad, we were mint when they went out of 10 men.
Yeah, although Leon,
although we nearly threw it away when they went out of 10 men, so that's an outlier.
They scored 4 goals in 10 men, didn't they?
But as soon as Miners got sent off, it was all us.
yeah, that was good. We're good at that. In terms of... So just a striker on top of the 2 that we've pretty much signed already, we think will take us back to potentially... that kind of Champions League top 5 race if things go well. You don't think that's there yet?
We can get into the top 6 with a striker.
Right.
To get into the top 4 requires a very, very, very good midfielder, and not like a £20 million. Oh, look what I found buy.
Do you have much faith in you guys, though? Because I genuinely don't know what's going to happen with him. Whether the manager likes him, trusts him, whether he just spat his dummy out with him a little bit because of the West Ham game, or whether he just thinks he ain't good enough.
There's a lot of... I don't know if we've got all of the right players. No. And I think we're accommodating Bruno Fernandes to a greater or lesser extent. And it's weird because individually, he was class last season.
Yeah, of course.
There's no 2 ways around it. He was absolutely undeniable last season. But are we a good team or a better team with him shoehorned into the 6? Or would there be more structure to what we're trying to do? Like, he's able to come out of it with goals and assists. But are we... We're clearly not winning games. We just finished 15th, although we won 11. Like, Do you know what I mean? Do you know where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Like, are we a better, more effective team with him in the 6? He's able to get onto the pitch and individually play well. He's involved, and you want your best players involved. But are we closer to beating every team put in front of us with him in that position? I don't think we're better without him in the team, but are we better with him in the 6?
I think with Cunha and Mbeumo, it's going to help him a lot. Because he's got to do everything at the minute. Like, all of it is on him. And having some...
Can he do the progressing, retention, retrieving the ball, the things that Ugarte does that, doesn't really catch the eye as much?
I think he can if he trusts the players around him. I think at the moment he knows that if anyone's going to do it, it has to be him.
You see that, can't you? You can see that's probably... It's part of what makes him a good player, but also it can be detrimental at times when he's trying to do too much.
It's a hint of the Gerrards at times.
Yeah, like, I'm going to shoot from 50 yards, or I'm going to try the 100-yard pass, and it's like...
I have to do it because no one else will.
Just keep possession for a bit.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to always look for that killer pass or shot or whatever, but I understand it, because as a fan, I get frustrated. So God knows what it's like for him playing alongside players who just aren't up to it.
But even with Gerrard, I know we talk about Gerrard a lot, or you mentioned Gerrard before, Steve, about like, he does do that. It's like, right, how can I make it all about me? And he did do that. Me. But at times he did have to do that as well. And I think when Suarez was
Bollocks, don't buy into the fucking Scouse narrative.
No,
it's just absolute wibble. The guy played with fucking Didier Man and Xabi Alonso and Fernando Torres up front. Let's not pretend he was dealing with fucking Rasmus Højlund.
I said at times he had to do that. I'm not saying...
Name the times.
I think probably when they won the FA Cup, that was probably good of him to...
Put up the fucking squad list, please, for the FA Cup 2005.
Six.
I think that...
Just Google FA Cup final 2006 and it'll give you the Wikipedia page.
I think between 2000
with the teams on it.
Sort of 9 and 2012, they didn't really have a very good team. Anyway, when they got Suarez in,
Mascherano and that, yeah.
Sure. When they keep going, he wasn't then between 2009 and 2012.
When did he leave?
No, Mascherano was there. He was there in 08.
So there you go.
Oh, look, Xabi Alonso in midfield, Sissoko, Harry Kewell, Cisse, Crouch,
Steve, you can't
wonderful
tell me
podcaster, Sami Hyypiä, John Anarisa.
No, sure. If you've got the
Pepe Reina.
If you've got the ball at your feet and you're Steven Gerrard and you need to get a goal right now, what are you going to do? Give it to Djibril Cisse and Harry Kewell to win it for you?
Harry Kewell's massively underrated.
Yeah.
Look at the bench as well. Didier Man. Who else we got on the bench there?
Yeah, let him just shoot from the bench.
Oh, Fernando Morientes.
We need someone to put the ball in the back of the net. Can someone from the bench do
Fernando Morientes.
No, probably not. Anyway,
I'll never forgive West Ham for that game.
Yeah, I hated it.
Look who he was playing against, though. Carl Fletcher, he was on fucking Dream Team, yeah? Jimmy Walker, who's he? He could be sat next to me now. You wouldn't know who the fuck he was.
He's a whiskey, isn't he?
Christian Daly, shite. James Collins, shite. Teddy Sheringham, 400 years old. 400 years of age, by the way.
He was 390
when was it? 2006.
Dean Ashton, stop it. Marlon Airwood, shite.
Anyway.
Matthew Etherington, shite. Nigel Rio, got fucking shite, right? Paul shite. Danny Gabardon, top on the piss. Anton Ferdinand, good bloke. Scaloni, what?
Yeah.
Shite. And Shaka Hislop. Shite.
Yes, fine. All true.
Right?
But
Xabi Alonso. Sami Hyypiä. Even Carragher.
Yeah, but they're not going to win you a game. Sami Hyypiä's not going to win you the game. Here you go, Sammy. Score. I'm just saying, I think at times Bruno, rightly or wrongly, has had to do it for us. Because if he doesn't, no one else will.
No, I'm talking about the narrative being that Steven Gerrard played with a load of fucking... people with club feet.
No, he didn't.
Xabi Alonso.
Yeah, I know. He's had good players around him. 2005, fantastic squad, fantastic team. I think, but what my point is, when Suarez arrived and Gerrard didn't have to do everything, they almost won a title. And actually, in the end, it was Gerrard that cost him the title. But I would love to get to a position where we can find out if Bruno could be the extra thing in winning us a title, or whether he would slip metaphorically or literally and actually hold us back.
And allow Demba to score.
Yeah, because I don't think Bruno's ever been given that luxury.
It's not even that slip that cost him. That was in the first half. There was like 50 minutes of that game left. It's after that slip he decided to shoot every time he got the ball, and just gave away possession because none of his shots went in. So would Bruno do
the same thing and kind of consolidate what was a mistake by being all about me again, or would, given the right players, Bruno in the 6 actually
Give me Michael
work.
Carrick 100 times out of 10.
Yeah,
I think Bruno Fernandes is good enough to adapt.
If you put Rodri next to Bruno, or whoever, a young Michael Carrick or whatever you want to call it, would he work then? Would he work as that sort of industrious ball playing number 6?
I still think he and Kobe and probably Ugarte work better in a 3.
Yeah,
and we're not going to see that.
no.
So I don't know if Amorim needs to adapt. Maybe that's why we're not being linked with a fucking striker. Maybe they go with a 3 and a 2, and Mbeumo and Cunha isn't either side of a striker. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
all your strikers.
surprise,
Oh, imagine 2 up top.
bold.
We're not that far off 4-4-2 then. If that happens,
Well,
I'm
more
done.
like 3-4-1,
I know,
but
but it's
3-5-2.
getting closer.
Well, Bruno in behind those two, feeding them.
Yeah.
Wing backs. Maybe that's why it's Ahmad and Dogu as the wing backs, and actually maybe you go with a little bit more steel. And maybe it is you can go with a Ugarte and a Menu or.
See, that team though that you're describing, Kirsty, is a good team. It is. Like, you talk those players, all your players you've just mentioned there. Ahmad at wing back, I think, could smash it. I quite like Dogu. I know he had a bit of an up and down first season, but it was his first
fucking
season.
spam balls into the box, though, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And all of a sudden, you think, actually,
People told me
that's
for years
not
Trent
too-
was fucking world class because he did that.
It's Alexander-Arnold.
It
Is
says
he your
Trent on
mate?
his shirt now.
Oh, fuck off.
It's only because 50p a letter.
So, if we stay fit of injuries, then I think there's
Might be
a
a pound a
team
letter
there.
now.
Even if we
2025.
don't get a striker, there's
Cost
still
of
not a
living
bad team
crisis,
there.
gas bills and that.
Speaking of Alexander-Arnold, obviously leaving Liverpool. They won
Has
the
it?
league
I've
last
not heard
season.
that. They've not mentioned that.
Was it 75 points they got in the end?
Pathetic.
84, wasn't it?
No,
84.
it was
in the
more than
80s.
75.
Yeah, I think was it Arsenal got?
This isn't. What was it? Didn't we win it with 69 once?
No.
What was the lowest? What's the lowest we've won?
It's like 79, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? Sorry,
Treble-
sorry.
we only won a treble, so don't worry about it.
No.
We got more in when Ashley Young captained us, which tells you everything you need about the fucking points tally counters.
Yeah.
If you're prepared to tell me that fucking Ashley Young captain Manchester United was better than the treble team, I can have a conversation with you about point tallies mattering.
That's all that matters, Steve. Points, that's all that matters. What was it, 81 we got under Jose, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. 75 points is the lowest to win the.
Was that us? Sounds like an us.
Yeah, I
thing.
think it was.
Yeah, I think it was.
90s. We finished 42
Yeah,
points behind
96.
Liverpool.
Sorry,
Yeah,
it's 96, 97. Sorry.
Finished 42 points behind Liverpool last season. We can assume, we've said already, that City is going to be up there in the 80s next season.
Mm-hmm.
How do we bridge that gap? Because we almost can forget, it doesn't necessarily matter who it is. You need 85 points to even start talking about a title challenge these
We're not
days.
there yet.
I don't.
get 20 wins as well.
I don't. It pains me to say this because I fucking hate them, but I don't think we need to be worrying about what Liverpool are doing.
But we do eventually.
I know, but not now.
Right.
Like they've just gone out and spent 190 million pound or whatever it is.
It's almost like you didn't just watch us almost get fucking relegated. We
Florian
flirted
Wirtz.
with relegation.
Like I just feel like.
What are you writing down?
Forget the scouts.
What are you writing down?
Just unfortunately.
Tell me what you're writing down.
We're not. We're not going to be.
What are you writing?
Challenging them for
You're going
anything.
to see in a sec, aren't you? Ever heard of it?
Project
Project
150. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually, yeah.
2028.
All right, 2028. I'll give
So
you that.
that's 3
But I wouldn't.
years.
Next season, I'm not.
Yeah, all
No,
right.
this isn't for next
fucking
season.
Brada had a PowerPoint.
Yeah,
Don't mean that we're going to win the fucking league.
No, but here's the thing.
He has to sell it to someone.
Yeah, of course. I'm not talking about
They
next
Tell
season.
them I'm going to do the pots when they get in. Don't mean I fucking will, Joe.
They focus group that, by the way. Give us a time that's not too far ahead. Far
3
away.
years.
Yeah, and not. We can't
Someone
say
about
next
went, "Oh,
year.
for fuck's sake."
We can't say like 10 years because all the fans will be like, "Fucking 10 years."
No, I
Just
think
say something in a few years. That'll do.
I actually
2028.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
They went for the number. That
Yeah, they did. They didn't. There's no fucking logic.
I
there.
think you're both wrong.
What you think it's happening?
I'm not saying I think it is happening, but I think if it doesn't happen in 3, which will be 3.5 years, or 4 years, sorry, by the time it rolls around from when it was conceived,
Yeah.
then you're probably no closer than any other time. You're always going to be 4 years away. It doesn't take more than 4 years to build a title-winning squad. If you're going to, that's how long it takes. Because if it takes 10 years, the people you bought at the start have gone. If it's going to take any time, if it's ever going to happen, it can never be more than 4 or 5 years away. Because otherwise you fucked it up at the start. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how much longer
Welcome
could
to Manchester
it take?
United, Joe.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying it will happen, but I'm saying that time limit, that time isn't absurd.
To be fair to you,
'Cause otherwise, what are you saying?
In 3 years, whatever, the chances of Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk being still at Liverpool and still the kind of players they are right now is almost non-existent.
Yeah.
And there's such a big reason for them.
Well, how many goals did fucking Salah score last year?
Like fucking all of them.
It was something like 48 goals and assists, or 58 goals and assists. It was the most ever.
Shy.
Yeah. But you know what I mean, though? It can't take any longer than that if it's going to happen. Because then, you know what I mean?
It's just one of them that eventually Project 150 might actually take 150 years.
Yeah.
But at the time, Barada's holograms like, told you.
Told you. Well, that's what I mean. I'm not saying it will happen, but what I'm saying is...
Oh, good.
If we get it right, and whenever you get it right, it takes about 3 or 4 years. Look at all the teams that have gone from not winning titles to winning titles. It took 4 years or less every time from the catalyst that came in to change it.
Of the time.
Well, no, look at Abramovich. He was there within 2 years. They'd won the title. Things were different, but with City, within 4 years they'd won the title. With Liverpool, when Klopp arrived, which was the main catalyst, within 4 years they'd won the title.
City came in and went on a spending spree that had never been seen, even when you cheated at footy.
No, that's true, and that's what I mean. You can't necessarily replicate all of it.
Yeah.
But there's no one where you go, their best manager came in and then 9 years later they won it. Fergie is probably the closest we're going to get to that.
7 years.
Took 7 years. But that wasn't necessarily... Things have changed in terms of how the money is sort of shared out. You can accumulate players and wealth more quickly in the Premier League now than you could then. Also, I do think theoretically that maybe could have gone a bit faster, because it was realistically when Cantona came in was when we went, fucking hell, now we can actually go that next level. I think that could have been done a bit quicker.
We competed the year before.
We should have won it the year before. We had fucking 5 games in 11 days.
So 6 years to challenge.
Let's not ignore that.
So it took
And
6
also,
years to
when he
challenge.
came in, we were fucking nearly getting relegated. There was no way he could have won the title in his first year. So it was like mathematically impossible. So he basically 6 years, and one of them, you know, he was very, very unlucky.
Yeah. Okay. So it took him 5 years to start
I get
challenging.
your point, yeah.
That's not, you know, it's a similar timeline, isn't it? And I think things, like I said, there's so much money in the Premier League now. You can get those players you need more quickly. Do you understand what I mean?
No, I get
what
you.
you mean.
I'm more worried.
There is a churn. The City team could come to the end of a cycle.
Yeah.
This Arsenal team's probably close to the end of a cycle if it doesn't actually achieve something.
Yeah.
I feel like I get that. My curious one with City is what happens with Pep Guardiola.
Yeah,
I don't think it matters what happens to Pep.
Do you not?
I know they won 2 titles before he got there, but I don't think you can just ignore Pep Guardiola. I think it does matter a lot, and I'm hoping that once he leaves, some of these younger players that they brought as well, there is a little bit of a punt on some of them. It's not like you're getting a Yaya Toure or a Sergio Aguero. You go, actually, this is definitely going to work out.
They've had a few misses in the window.
Yeah, I just feel like there's a few.
More misses than wins.
That's what I'm saying, and that wasn't always the case with them. They went out and got the obvious ones for a reason, and they always did the job you pretty much wanted them to do. Now it feels like a little bit
it's fucking
more
Pep,
unknown.
mate. He's trying to be clever.
Well, they've not replaced... I know people don't like him, and I don't think you're a fan, but they haven't replaced Sterling's goals. Whether you think he's the guy or not, Grealish has never done what Sterling did. They haven't replaced Mahrez and his output. They haven't replaced Gundogan. They tried to replace him with Gundogan, and it didn't work because he was mid-30s by then. Like, they
That's a really good move, that, though.
Yeah, replacing Gundogan. Who can replace him with? Gundogan.
It's like when we came to the conclusion the other day, like, we needed Rodri.
Yeah.
Let's get Rodri. I wonder if that's been workshopped round the table.
At United?
Hello! Never mind.
Yeah, absolutely not. No, that's not going to work, is it? So yeah, when you say you don't think it matters whether Pep leaves or not, as in they'll be successful without him, or...
Of course they fucking will!
Yeah.
I swear to God I could manage City to a title.
No.
And I'll do it cheaper than Pep.
How much would you charge?
Just one football club.
Really, that's it?
Yeah. I ain't even got any brothers.
You can have it. You can just have it for free. Jay.
Joe.
Liverpool...
Fucking hell.
Gone absolutely mental in the transfer window.
Yeah.
Do you think they're sort of up here for a while now?
I think they're much better after this window than they were before it. Losing Trent Alexander-Arnold isn't as deep as I think some people are making it out to be. Especially, I like
They took it
Kirkes.
over the stride, though, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They took it in good, good
I
nature.
fucking loved the meltdown. And also, have you seen the hate watching that they've been doing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, mate, I'm part of the club. It's fucking
it's great,
sensational.
innit?
They're like, look, it is every touch from Trent. And it's like misplaced pass,
sorry.
misplaced pass.
We should call him,
tossed it off.
We should call him Trent because he's a top lad. Because that is the best trolling I have ever seen anyone do. Where you cost the team a Champions League, then pose for a picture in front of the very Champions League you cost them with your new club, smiling at it. That is elite.
No, the quote
Wasn't the quote? It was like, I grew
unbelievable.
up watching this team win 3 Champions Leagues.
Yeah, literally.
You were playing him on of it.
Literally watch Vinicius Junior fucking run and go and get the goal that won it.
So good.
It's
Is
the
that a real
180 the
quote?
Scousers have done on him, where they've been like,
mate.
he's fucking shit and he could never defend him. We're like,
Mate, you were setting fire to his shirt in anger the other week.
Yeah.
Get a fucking grip.
they did. His first game for Real Madrid was the most Trent performance I've ever seen any player put in ever. It's literally that's what I saw him doing it for Liverpool, and you defended him to the fucking hilt. Now he's doing it in a Real Madrid shirt, and it's a bad thing.
Yeah, that game at Anfield last season was as bad as I've seen from any Liverpool player in fucking years.
It was horrific.
It was like he'd forgotten how to play football.
I might support him.
That's not a bad shout. Who've they brought in so far? Kirkes.
Yeah, they've got
Wirtz,
Kirkes, they've got Florian Wirtz, they've got Frimpong.
Frimpong, as you call him.
Yeah,
that to me is a very good window for them, and there's talk of him even getting more.
Yeah,
but
Margay's been mentioned.
All these players are good, and they've improved. But the sort of the spanner in the works for them is what happens with Van Dijk and Salah.
As the age.
Yeah, because they're 2 world-class players. They just are, and all the fucking Frimpongs and Kirkes isn't going to make up for that. I know, yeah, please. So, one stage drop off. I'm hoping Liverpool drop off.
Because it is so hard to replace that. Like, you can talk about, the manager doing the right things and the midfield's good and all that.
He did fucking nothing, Joe.
No.
But that's what they needed. They needed someone to just do now. Pick the best team and get out of the fucking way.
How did Klopp get credit for tossing it off and just some fucking Bob the Builder coming in, doing cock all, literally went...
No, because
do what you were doing last week.
Because Arne Slot went, that Mohamed Salah, he's pretty good at football. I won't be a dickhead with him. I'll just put him in a team and let him get on with it. Whereas Klopp fucking decided to fall out with him, didn't he, halfway through the last season?
Yeah.
So, yeah, unfortunately, they've done well in the transfer
Arne
window.
Slot's team talks were like, huh?
Just reading a book. Do it.
Just go do your thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Give it to Salah, he knows what he's doing.
And I'll do some subs in about an hour.
Yeah, just fucking leave me alone.
Yeah, he's the exact opposite of Pep, innit? Couldn't have underthought it anymore.
Yeah, well, that's what you need sometimes. Like Ranieri at Leicester. I know Leicester's an outlier, but just let him get on with it for a season.
I hope he's feeling himself this year, and I hope he fucking walks out and gives it that fucking Gerrard stare to the fucking cop end and all that lot and fucks it right up.
Yeah.
The only problem that I've got with this is what happens if he does. Because no, I absolutely want him to fuck it up, because in my head, the Scousers, because he's won a title, and they are loyal like I've never seen. It's rabid with them, right?
Yeah.
They will not call for his head, and that will be fucking glorious, because he's shit, and they just don't know that he's shit yet. The problem they've got is, does Action Man and fucking get a title by default? Because I do think City will be in the mix, because I think they've found a checkbook and just going fucking
Spent
nuts.
300 million in 2025.
Was that it? Tramps.
So I think that they've got so many good players that, like, you just put 11 of them on the pitch in any fucking random order, and Rodri being back, being the big one, they'll probably be pretty good. It's just like, if it doesn't quite click with them and Baldy gets found out, does that just literally by default mean that fucking Arsenal win something? Because Arsenal were good.
Wouldn't you rather Arsenal won the league than either of them two, though?
Of course.
No, I'd rather be dead.
Really? I'd take
you'd rather
Arsenal
Liverpool
all
than
over
Arsenal?
Liverpool
No.
or City.
Listen, when City eventually... I believe in justice. And I believe in...
You're a man of the world. You've been there and worn the fucking T-shirt. How are you so naive as to believe in justice for Manchester City? They have got a checkbook like no one else has ever seen.
I believe in hope. Maybe it's because I believe that governments aren't full of corrupt self-serving.
The governments that had a meeting with city owners and the minutes of that meeting are no longer available to anyone. Or have never been available to anyone.
When has there ever been subterfuge and bribery involved in government?
It was a fully above board meeting, but you can't find out what was discussed in it. No, right, okay, that's fine then. Let's not worry.
There's never been once
sure
another country meddling in the politics of another country. Never happened once. So why would it happen now?
A huge investment from the city owners soon in this country, and a slap on the wrist. Call me a sin.
I believe justice will be done, and then when it is, I don't give a fuck what they want. Even if they just get like one throw-in taken off them, You cheated. Shut the fuck
That
up.
might be what they fucking end up with.
It's going to be something like that, isn't it?
It'll be like...
There'll be a fine.
Yeah.
And it'll
Maybe
be
a transfer
a
ban.
transfer ban for the January window.
Yeah.
And a fine.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, they cheated on an unprecedented level. They're not allowed to be there for the photographs next year.
Yeah.
People forget that City have already been fined more than any other club in the Premier League's history.
Have they?
Yeah. Like, they all went on about that cast ruling. Now, we were found not guilty. No, you weren't. You were fucking still fined. They've had like fucking 80 million quid's worth of fines already, or whatever it is. Some silly amount, which is far more than other clubs have been fined.
It'd be so great if we got like the footage of like the people from the FA like carrying the trophies out of the Etihad, like
it just won't
museum and
happen.
stuff.
This is one of the reasons why they can go turbo in the transfer window, because they know they're not going to get fucking done. They're not buying all these players for the Championship fucking promotion race, are they? They know they're not going to get anything other than a slap on the wrist, and they're just going to crack on. Unfortunately, yeah.
No, I've gone through waves on it, and there was a couple of times, like, because when they had the initial ruling with Cass, and then about a week later the Premier League are like, we're charging them, you're like, oh, like, you look like utter dickheads if you've just charged them on the back of them being found
less guilty.
Yeah, I can't even say not guilty, like, whatever the fuck that bullshit was with Cass. It was like, you've been found, we're not allowed to use the evidence we've got against you.
It's a big fine, but you don't have a transfer ban.
Yeah, so it's like when the Premier League announced to great fanfare, literally like a week later after that, you're thinking, oh, they're fucked. Because the Premier League would look like such muppets.
They could do more, couldn't they, Premier League? Because there was a limit on what Cass could do, the statute of limitations, and some of the charges. But the Premier League.
But you're talking 10 years deep here now in terms of like, they're literally going back to the 2014 title, aren't they? And like, we know that they're banked. Yeah, we know you're banked to rights. There was all sorts of rumours of been things under the fucking table and stuff flying around all over the show.
Mancini left in 2013, didn't he?
I mean,
you know.
I'm not saying that they're innocent. I don't think that for 1 minute. I think they are guilty. I just think they'll get away with it because I think it's all fucking corrupt, unfortunately.
So, when we're challenging for a title, then that's really all that matters, isn't it? Will Bruno Fernandes still be here?
Joe, can we just not be 15th next year?
No.
I'll take that.
We'll start with that.
Yeah. If we're in
I think, yeah, go on.
I just want to see us win 20 games next year, and that I will call tangible progress. And wherever that ends up, it ends up. But if we can win 20 games next year... Wasn't that long ago
we did that? When did we win under Ten Hag that first season?
Was it 75
We won
points?
we were about 16 at Old Trafford in the league.
Must have been, yeah.
So surely it wasn't far off.
Went undefeated away from home for a full season under Solskjaer.
That's what I mean, like, come on, bring back COVID.
We don't realise how good it was when it was shit.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just that it's like...
losing our minds because we had to keep coming back from behind to win the game. Oh my God.
Shit now, and you're like, fuck.
It's mad, isn't it?
We used to be good, you know.
Yeah.
Like, not in the last 10 years, but before that.
This is what I tell my kids, and taking them to watch Bournemouth beat us again 3-0.
Did they believe you?
They've seen the DVDs.
I've got a mate who lives in Bournemouth, and he's got a young lad who's raising in Bournemouth, and his original plan was to raise him as a Bournemouth fan because he was like, I'm not having one of them. It's my fucking... Well, my dad's from Manchester, and that's why I support United. And he was like, you can fucking watch Bournemouth. So he took him at Bournemouth for a bit, and he was like, it's fucking killing me because this ground is dead.
Yeah.
And then he brought him up to Old Trafford. Was it Newcastle Boxing Day or is it around New Year's?
Feels like we always play Newcastle on Boxing Day. We've got them this
I don't think it was
season.
Boxing Day last season.
It was like New Year's Eve or something like that. It was around Christmas.
It was a night game. I just remember getting there just in time for Isaac's goal.
He brought him up for that. His first ever game at Old Trafford, met him in the booze beforehand, and we got fucking bummed. And I'm like, we used to be good, you know.
And then did you go to the match?
I was waiting for that. You didn't let me down.
Do you know what? It sounds like a decent night. Yeah, he's back. But did the kid like watching United? Did he prefer it? Or is he going to be watching Bournemouth?
How was the kid?
Win a few games.
7, 8.
Yeah, it's a tough, man. It's a tough sell.
It is a tough sell, isn't it?
I was so chuffed with that Villa game, by the way, because my kids have been watching been like a few games. The best had been the draw against Arsenal, and last game of the season, I thought, because you might have noticed you couldn't move for the amount of tickets everyone was giving away because no one could be asked. And I ended up all in the in the same bit because it was just like, yeah, Jay, you can have my tickets, take your kids. So I was buzzing with that win. I treated it like it fucking mattered.
Well, Blake could be going to her first game this season.
How old is she?
6.
Yeah, that's a good age.
It's the right age.
It's the right age.
Do you know how old Jaden was?
Fucking hell, go. About to say.
Did you have to pay? You did just on you?
I did have to buy my ticket.
Under your arm.
Did you?
Need to buy my ticket, yeah.
That's class, that.
For about, and then once you realise that you don't need to buy my ticket, he came every game for about 5 years.
Yeah, that's meant.
Or just like carry him in?
Yeah, just carry him in and just fucking
We
shut up,
took,
carry on.
I think it was my youngest as a baby, but it was a fucking one of those daft games.
Yeah.
You know, James was
UNICEF
Wigan.
ones.
I know we've been
4-0.
through this before, obviously loads. But how old were you for your first game?
I was 5, but I think it was Southampton or something. I don't really remember it other than we drew 0-0.
Yeah.
Peter Shilton was in goal for Southampton. That's all I can remember because I recognised him.
Mum Southampton. I was 6.
See?
September 1990. Jockey's good. How mad's that?
Fuck it, I love
mad
it,
that.
mate.
I fucking love that.
Shit like that, I love it. Don't ever normalise it. Like, Chucky scored your first ever game and now we do fucking content with him and have a laugh with him.
I was 5 or 6, I can't remember.
It's the right age.
Yeah.
So that, Blake
98.
watched a few
been
games
5.
with me last season. I remember watching the Bilbao game with her, and then she missed all the fucking goals. So I sent her to bed before the goals.
Oh, mate.
So I showed her the goals in the morning on the way to school the next day. Which I missed. That shit like that was magic, you know. I remember, like, was it Oldham Athletic in about 1992, 3 or something like that? We had to tape it.
Yeah.
And I came down in the morning, and this is how old fucking I am. It was a VHS. And my dad had put a post-it note on the video, just said, press play.
Oh, mate. That's class.
Love it.
So I think she'll be coming to a match with me at some point this season. I was going to, in my head, I was going to take her to Villa, but we was in Switzerland, so I didn't.
Typical YouTuber.
But yeah, the
In a villa in Switzerland, though, so you're halfway there.
I'll be taking to her first game, I think, this season. So we'll see. She is getting into it a little bit.
Project 150.
Half the time when you're that age as well, I remember took my lad to, I think it might have been West Ham in the
Chocolate and the
Carabao.
programme,
Yeah, he loved it. And there was one game he went, I think it was Chelsea, where Ronnie scored. And you'd thought we won fucking 10-0 because he was just couldn't shut up about the fact he'd seen Ronaldo score a goal.
Yeah, it's mad.
Even though we
It's mad now. I go with Jaden. Jaden's he's 19 next month.
You know.
That's a madness. I'm going with a bloke.
Yeah. You give me an adult. That is weird, isn't it?
Mate,
It's
class.
fun though. I've had a fucking good time taking him to the match, right? His whole fucking life and stuff
That's
like that. And now, but he's in like the same sort of cycle that my dad was. So my dad saw us win a title when he was 7.
Yeah,
And then didn't see us win a title till he was 30 fucking 3, right?
That's so
How hard is that?
That's so
Right?
bad.
During those times as well, you saw the Scousers win title after title.
Yeah.
You saw fucking City won a title after us in 68. Leeds fucking won a title in 92. You have been through the mill as a Red during that
we
period.
won the title last when Jaden was 7. No, he's a bloke.
No, Steve.
With a job.
We can't do this. I might not be alive for
Imagine
that.
no.
14 more.
Imagine no. Like, he's going to be in his 20s at least before we win a title. He's literally just repeating what my and my granddad saw the babes and all the rest of that. I feel like my
gotta remember
granddad,
that.
like I was.
When's that in 3 years?
2028.
In 3, yeah, so that's 3 years.
50th anniversary.
So Ellis is 10. I was 13 when I saw us win our first title, and then we won another fucking 12 after that. So I'm hoping that's what's going to happen. Yeah, I'm hoping he sees 20 years of dominance because that's what I had.
And then Blake could be what I experienced in a way, which
Yeah.
is like my first game. I was 6.
Yep.
And it was just unprecedented
That's what you
fucking
want.
success.
It was shit when we fucking only won the title and lost the Champions League final. Those were the
No
seasons
fucking
we
parade.
fucking sulked
Why were we on a
about.
fucking parade? Fuck off.
Fuck off. Parade for a Premier League title and get a grip.
We were so blasé about fucking winning stuff, weren't we? It was bad. It was bad.
I just
Fucking hell.
imagine it
bad.
now.
Honestly.
I can just sometimes you get a flicker of the feeling of what it used to be like.
Winning
And
a
you kind
title.
of remember it, yeah.
Joe, just a title run with this fucking channel from a pre-season.
So fun, wasn't it? So much fun.
Just roll it back. Imagine what it would have been like, right?
Go on.
If we'd have done a watch along for Argentina England in 1998, just imagine the fuckery and the shit show.
Comments about
Yeah, because that would have done like a lot of people who aren't United fans watching it as well. Like,
Yeah.
laying
Imagine.
Beckham. Us
started
just
there.
absolutely defending him to the hilt, no matter what, obviously.
He's dived.
Yeah,
He's
you're
fucking dived.
fucking
They
right.
made the most
Imagine
of it.
that from there, and the fatwa that I would have put on Diego Simeone from that fucking moment in my life, right? From that moment, and then through, is it Leicester first?
Leicester at
game
home,
of the season?
2-0.
To the and then from Christmas where it's just like, oh,
We just never
coming
lose
from
again.
behind, win, win. Juventus. No, you don't even score in fucking Italy in the 90s. Are you insane?
No one
We're
scored
2-0
against
down.
Italy
Watch
in 10 years.
this, you slags.
Oh, mate.
All the way through to the 93rd fucking minute. Can you imagine?
Can you imagine the fucking the Arsenal semi-final second replay?
From the Schmeichel save to the Ryan Giggs, fucking one of them bastards.
Phil Neville's face to Ryan Giggs.
That'd have been all of us. Heads on the fucking table.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't have. It wouldn't have. Because about March onwards, we're not doing any content. We're all fucking games. We're not sat here watching it on the telly, are we? Fucking making content about it. We're at the fucking game, like making the most of it.
And we've never had that. No. We've had good cup runs. I mean, last year's Leon, fucking hell, there was a grown man in his 50s jumped into my arms with one of those goals against Leon.
Fully believe
we've had good moments.
Yeah,
I mean, from Liverpool last year to those comebacks this year.
The FA Cup final, bro, was right up there with any game I've ever been at.
Yeah,
like it was.
I fucked up by not going to that, didn't I?
Well, you weren't alone. A load of mine, all my lot, who I go to the game with. One of them, it was his 50th. And they all went to that instead because they all thought a lot of them thought we ain't gonna fucking do it. I don't want to be there for another defeat to City anyway. So they were like okay with it.
Brilliant.
Oh mate, I remember after 10 minutes being relieved it was still 0-0, thinking fucking hell, this is all right. This we're all right.
But, when we do win a title again, Jay's getting back on the sniff.
Yeah, I've got him.
It's a pound of Bam Bam, mate. It's going in.
It's been arranged.
He's gonna look like Tony Montana. We've got a machine gun. We've got a fucking McDonald's straw.
2028. It's only 2 years away.
I'll be around for that as well. Do you know what I mean?
So.
No, this is what worries me because I always worry like United could go. United went 26 years without a title, right? We've just finished 15th. We could easily go another 26 years from now.
We're 10 years
without a title.
The worst we've been since we won it.
So there's nothing to say. Oh well, we're fucking going to win it in 10 years. It might be another fucking 26 years, and I might be around for that long. So yeah, Project 150 or whatever it's called. 2028, I'll take that.
I'd just like to be doing the content with all you lot.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
When we do it. Because the fucking grind we've put in.
We couldn't have timed it any worse.
The build-up of the giddiness
Like,
and the stress.
And 1968 onwards we could have done.
Oh, yeah, but
we're going to just be on
for the existence of YouTube, though, for those purposes, like I don't think we could have done it much worse than.
Well, no, we literally couldn't have done it. It was invented in 2005, for fuck's sake.
We managed to time it to the point where United.
The only way we could have made it worse is like, let's do a watch along for this. AC Milan beat Liverpool.
Yeah. In fact, let's go live. It's fucking 3-0.
Yeah, right, it's half time. I'm just going to do the watch up for the second half.
Go live now, Roo. Oh, fuck.
He's off his fucking line. Look at him again.
What was that?
That would have been the worst game. Just go live.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go live and celebrate watching Liverpool lose.
It'll be well funny.
We'll still be clipped up now.
Second half hate watch.
Those clips would never end. That'll be it forever.
I'm so glad YouTube didn't exist then. Because all the rival fan reaction clips would have been like just the most viral thing of all time, wouldn't they?
But I would like to have done it for 2008 because fucking hell.
Yeah. Blimey. See, we're getting a bit of momentum now. It's happening 2028.
It's not much reminiscing again. It's what we always go back to.
We always go back to 99.
Yeah. What a time. Anyway, that'll do us, I think. Lovely.
Don't worry, you'll have your time in the sun.
What's happening? Is that a threat? I felt like you're going to fucking murder me.
How old are you in 08?
In 08, I was 15.
Oh, right.
So I remember, I've got proper memories of that.
That's all I was in 99.
I've got decent memories of 99.
Sorry, I didn't think you had a clear memory.
But a proper, 08, I proper remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good times are coming.
Unbelievable stuff. Right. What are you thinking about this, Steve? There's something, you're thinking wistfully. Good old days. They were good though, weren't they? Better than anyone else has had.
Literally, I mean, even in our worst, in this last 10 years, it's still the golden period for fucking near enough every other club apart from City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea.
Brilliant. Right, thank you very much for joining us.
Arsenal has been a bit overrated. They haven't won much.
No, that's true.
They've won fuck all.
Yeah.
Won one FA Cup in 5 years.
Fucking what did you do?
See you in a bit.